There is no despair in the world. Talk to Hashem for 1 hour every day. Every day of our life, yearn, pray, and make a practical effort to live in Eretz Israel. There's only one necessary path, and that's simplicity. Good evening and welcome to the Simple Life Breslov podcast. I am Akiva Nachman, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited for tonight's topic. Before we jump into it, this episode is in the merit of Chava Amuna Bat Sarah, Leah Nava Bat Chava Amuna, Betzalel Moshe Ben Chava Amuna, Malka Rivka Bat Chava Amuna, Aliyah Zipporah Bat Chava Amuna, Batya Chaya Bat Chava Amuna, Yosef Simcha Ben Chava Amuna, also for protection of all the IDF soldiers and for the protection and safe release of all the hostages. I want to talk about obstacles. Obstacles are something that we are all experiencing in our lives. It's something that I personally believe that we can never get away from. And I found a lot of comfort in Rebbe Nachman's teachings around this particular topic. It gave me lots of encouragement. So I thought this would be a good time to talk about obstacles. So Rebbe Nachman's Eitzah, Rebbe Nachman's advice. This is another phenomenal book. It's one of my favorites. So on page 183, he's talking about barriers. The greater the goal for which you yearn, the bigger the obstacles and barriers which are sent in order to strengthen your desire. For desire is in proportion to the magnitude of the barriers. So a lot of you guys know that our family is in a process of making Aliyah. And we have experienced many barriers, many obstacles, many challenges. And people ask all the time, how are you able to stay sane through it all? How do you do it all? You and your wife are making Aliyah with 6 kids. And what's your thoughts on the war that's going on? Or how do you handle this? And so simply, all the barriers and obstacles which confront a person have only one purpose: to heighten his yearning for the holy deed which he needs to accomplish. And so my wife and I, we keep that in mind while we're in this process of getting ready to make Aliyah. So we know that when, not if, but when the challenges and the barriers come our way, Rebbe Nachman says they only have one purpose: is to heighten our yearning for the holy deed in which we need to accomplish. That holy deed is moving to Eretz HaKodesh. Rebbe Nachman said it may take a lot of effort for a person to break the barriers confronting him when he starts to draw closer to God. Many people experience opposition from their parents or parents-in-law, their wives, and so on. But all their effort produces a vessel. Within this vessel, he can receive the holiness and purity he will attain thereafter. So the greater the struggle one has at the outset, the greater the vessel one forms. So there are always going to be difficulties and obstacles whenever we're trying to do something holy. So we have to stay strong and also know that these things are sent from heaven. Again, it says that the greater the goal for which you yearn, the bigger the obstacles and barriers which are sent in order to strengthen your desire. Where are they sent from? Shemaim. Hashem sends us the obstacles. So here's something really beautiful. People often imagine that the barriers they experience in their efforts to serve God are so great that they will never be able to break them. But this is not true. No one is ever confronted with barriers he cannot break if he really wants to. God only sends a person obstacles that are within his capacity to overcome if he is really determined enough. Isn't that beautiful? God sends us the obstacles that are within our capacity to overcome if we are really determined enough. So that means that before he even sends it, he's already equipped us with the strength to be able to overcome it. Rebbe Nachman says if he thinks about it carefully, he will realize that the obstacle is really a veil for God himself. And in reality, there are no obstacles at all. They are simply an illusion. When I first read that, I almost started to cry because it gave me so much encouragement to know that in my hard times, Hashem is right there. And it gave me a whole different way to look at my challenges. There are actually no obstacles at all. It's all an illusion. Why? Because everything is from Hashem. And just like Rabbeinu said, these obstacles are really a veil for God himself. And he's hiding. What does that mean? He hides himself in the obstacle. So when we take a step back and we look, we say, wow, Hashem, you were with me right there the whole time. So stay strong, my friends. Hashem should give us all strength. May we be worthy of coming closer and closer to Hashem. And just as Rabbi Nachman said, never despair. We should have strength, we should have courage, and we should go through these challenges with simcha. Thank you guys for listening. Love you all.